The world, Cleveland, Ohio, at First Energy Stadium on the shores of Lake Erie. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns. Two one-loss teams set to lace it up. This ought to be fun, and we're underway on EA Sports. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. 4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
The defense thought they had that play covered, but it still got driven backward by those blockers. Those types of plays are a key part of any team's offensive game plan. It all starts up front in the trenches.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Watson now to throw. Going deep downfield for Ross. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. Hard to believe that arm strength was a knock on Deshaun Watson coming out of Clemson, but he showed what he's got there. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Watson. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. And the Jets are going to get the football here as they force the INT on the game's opening drive. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
Now the first running back drafted in April. This is Breece Hall. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Hall again on 2nd down. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for first. Not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Here's Wilson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
Now here's Ross. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Browns drive about to get started. Remember last time out they threw the interception on their first drive. Good news, their defense backed them up, so it's still 0-0 here as they begin their second possession.
Yeah, and one great way to judge a defense, how do they handle what we call sudden change? When all of a sudden, you know, it goes against their offense and they have to run out in the field and try and put out the fire. Give this one great kudos for getting out there and not letting that interception lead to points. Excellent job by them defensively.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. To throw is Watson. Going deep downfield for Ross. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ashton Davis. And the Jets are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield.
Well, it doesn't take a whole lot of investigation to figure out why they're still sitting at 0 on the scoreboard, because their quarterback's got to wake up and start reading defense a heck of a lot better after throwing his second interception.
After the interception, here's Wilson. He's going to let this one go deep. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Partner, I came into this game eager to see how they would hold up in man coverage. And on that play, they held up quite well.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, a run with Hall. And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
It looks like a nickel set now for the Browns on 3rd down. On 3rd down, here's Hall. And some room to work. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one 28 yards on the ground.
I definitely like the play call. You don't expect it on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, do you? You expect a pass play. Had a little courage there to call the run, and boy, they were successful.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
Under pressure, and they got to him again. Martin Emerson in there to drop him, and that will go in the books as the first sack of his young NFL career. Congratulations, young man. So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
What I loved about meeting with these coaches before the game is we didn't even have to ask any questions. They told us that they were going to be aggressive and push the ball downfield. They weren't successful on that play, but look for them to try it again later.
Zuerlein's kick is up and through. And the Jets hit the board first. It's 3-0. So the defense able to force the interception, and the offense working their way into field goal range and able to get 3 out of it.
Yeah, and give them credit for that. They took the ball, maneuvered it downfield, and while they couldn't get exactly what they wanted, which was a touchdown, they did get 3 points out of it, so they paid off what the defense gave them. Both sides will be thrilled with that.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. From the gun, here's Watson. Open man, here's Schwartz, complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Making the play defensively, Carl Lawson. The Browns had 0-1 on the year following the loss in the opener. And listen, they knew last week they were in for a tough fight on the road. But now here's the home opener and a chance to get things right.
And I like the way that you presented that, because the bottom line is they didn't come out of that loss discouraged. They just came home and said, hey, if we do what we're supposed to do, protect our home turf, we'll be just fine.
From the 41, Watson. He's going to have the hook up to Schwartz. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 45-yard line. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. This offense hoping to avoid the 0-2 start. They trail, but they've got a 1st and 10 here. And now Watson throws another interception. Sauce Gardner picks it off. And the Jets are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. Well, we saw plenty of that during his much-heralded college career. He parlayed that into becoming a first-round selection. And now here he is making interceptions in the National Football League.
And this is a guy that has all the physical tools, but the thing that sets him apart is what he's got between his ears. And that's a 6'7".
And shedding the tackle, and now some room. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Defensively, he has been a presence in their backfield in the first half. Had a sack earlier, and now he comes up with a big tackle for a loss.
On 2nd and 11 now. Wilson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Martin Emerson in there to record the 2nd sack of his young NFL career. So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack. Throwing on 3rd and long. Wilson. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th. Now the Jets send on Braden Mann to punt. They'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. The Browns drive about to get started. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls at work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on.
And now off to the races, down the right side, and all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Browns have moved out in front. Extra point by York is up and good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, the answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Now Wilson. He finds Corey Davis. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Wilson on the hook up to Davis. First down, Jets.
In 2021, Corey Davis made the move from the Tennessee Titans to the New York Jets. But injuries limited to only 9 games. When healthy, though, he had begun to show the promise that made him a top 5 pick by the Titans. A promising rep there, getting a first down.
Safety Grant Delpit up to make the play.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Play action. It's Wilson. He finds his man, complete. That's Wilson. It's a gain of 22 as we tick towards the 2-minute warning.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Wilson to throw. And this one is incomplete.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
On 2nd and 10, Wilson, and he's got the hook up to Moore. And they're going to move it down inside the 25. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. To throw again is Wilson. And that will be incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
And that is no good. And that will keep this a 4-point game.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And not an abundance of time remains on the clock, Charles, but you would think more than enough to try to extend this lead before intermission.
And when you're talking about extending the lead, I think you're talking about aiming for the end zone because there is plenty of time for that. The fallback is to get 3. But in your mind, you put 6 on the board right before the half. That's a heck of a dagger and great momentum to carry into the locker room.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 134 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Njoku pulls this one in. He's got it for a Cleveland touchdown. A great play there. 26 yards. And the Browns will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. The York on now for the extra point. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. Giants kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. Braxton Berrios selected to bring it out. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right?
It's caught inside the 25. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line. So they will wave off the flag and let the completion stand.
Really great job by the receiver fighting through all the contact and still coming down with the football. All that great work in practice being put into the game.
A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. They'll give to Hall, and he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Wilson. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack. Wilson now throwing on 3rd and long. Able to complete this one to Tyler Conklin. And he's going to get this to about the 20, but that is well short of what he needed. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll be 4th down. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Zerline's kick is up and through. And a 2nd field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. Maybe a little fortunate there. That was leaking a little, maybe leaking a lot, but he got it.
Yeah, he actually was able to make it work. How about the body language, though, right? As he watched that ball leak to the right, trying to bring it back in, and had just enough to get it done.
The Browns drive about to get started. And with an 8-point lead, probably not too much of an impetus to try and do too much here. They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he's got some space here. And he steps out of bounds, but not before he gets inside the 35. A big play there out of a running game. 43 yards. So 3 seconds here remain in the half on as the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. York able to send this one through, and that will do it for this first half. So we have reached halftime here in Cleveland with the Browns on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Jets going to get the football first, and they trail as well as we get back underway in this 2nd half. A fairly short kick from the 14. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter three.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well. They've kept them around in this game. Now they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
Now Wilson on first down. He's going to look deep for more. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Wilson. To the right side, and he's got more complete. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 40. Just his 2nd catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now, right at the 40. Paul on a give up the middle. They'll get this down to the 38.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
From the 38, Wilson, and incomplete. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And he's got a man, Corey Davis. Down inside the 10. Touchdown, Jets. Corey Davis, 38 yards. And the Jets are back within a score. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time, they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
And he's got it. So the try for 2 successful. And with it, they're back within a field goal. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. On the return from his end zone is Grant. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. The Cleveland offense ready to go. But Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. But I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that that momentum stays in your camp.
And he will find his man Schwartz. That's complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Chubb will get the call running left. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
Nice satisfying run on first down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
Got an open man at Schwartz. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
Doesn't matter whether it's a zone coverage or man coverage, the drag route can be effective when it's run well.
So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 41. A give running right is Chubb. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss.
And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Sauce Gardner brings him down, and that's a play he's going to remember. The first sack of his NFL career.
He already did his primary job with an interception earlier, but here he gets a chance to be a pass rusher and takes on the challenge of blitzing and makes another big play. That's something to file away and maybe break out later in this one or in a future game.
3rd and long. It's Watson. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Monte Nicholson picks it. And the Jets are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
They'll start on the ground. Hall. Room here to run. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 92 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw that on that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took him.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Sione Takitaki in there to record another sack, and that is now 6 on the afternoon for this defensive unit. Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. From midfield now, here's Wilson. Yeah, he'll find Hall. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
Caught that look from me there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. They'll run with Hall. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? Now it's Wilson. Oh, no, he lost the football. Fortunate to get that football back, because trailing here in the second half, last thing they needed was to lose the possession.
And the word I think of here is opportunity. score points, but the opportunity for the defense was to go ahead and really close this game down if they were able to get possession.
On 3rd and goal, Wilson. This is caught. A big play, but still not enough. Leads to a 4th and goal. I'll tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And this will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Jeremy Ruckert with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Jets have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter. Zerline connects on the extra point, and that will make this a 4-point game. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. The return from his end zone is Grant. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The Browns drive about to get started. And now they'll look to answer working from behind. And remember, this offense has sputtered yet to score here in the second half. They'll need to change that here. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Chubb on the counter. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Boy, 196 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Back to throw, Watson. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And now here is another interception. And the Jets force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it, and that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad.
He's got a man, complete. And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line. For Zach Wilson, you have to figure if you're going to be drafted number 2 overall, you better have a big arm, and he does not disappoint there. Straight ahead is Hall. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Give him maybe a yard, quite the opposite from the previous big gainer. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in. And all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is, first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
Hall again on 2nd down. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. Now the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But the problem for them is still within a possession. So they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Now Wilson. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. And the Browns are right back in this football game. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. The interception sets them up with an opportunity to erase this 4th quarter deficit. Now, this series could very well determine our outcome. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. On 2nd and 12, Watson. He finds his man, complete. That's Schwartz. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A first down there on a pickup of 25. Now Watson. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And oh, that one nearly intercepted. That would have sealed it. Instead, it'll be 2nd down.
I like the thought process there. They connected on a big play, and sometimes you find the defense vulnerable. So they went for the bigger shot, went for it all on that one. This time, they were ready for it.
And that's intercepted yet again, and that could be the backbreaker. Picked off by Ashton Davis. And the Jets are going to take possession of the football. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost that they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. Wilson wants to throw it. Going down the middle, and it's complete. Touchdown!